Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. We are back with episode 113 of Chill, and we are live out on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, all of the above. And we've got an incredibly special guest for you today. We're joined by V. I can't pronounce Vered very well, so we've decided on V, who is the CEO of Syte. An incredible product discovery platform. And V, thank you for joining us so early in the morning from Tel Aviv.
Thank you. Good evening and good morning to everyone. Thanks for having me.
So V, tell us a little bit for those who don't know, and they should know what Syte is. You've been around for a while. You're obviously relatively new, but you've got your feet under the table now. Give us the worldview of what Syte is as a platform, and then we'll dig into some of those little nuances and use cases.
Sure. So Syte is a product discovery platform. And what's special about our product discovery is that it's driven by visual AI. So at the basic of our platform is a lot of technology around machine learning and image processing. And on top of that, a layer of artificial intelligence so that we can use algorithms to power the platform. And the platform has two parts. It has a visual discovery platform that this is what the users see, the shoppers see. So it's around discovering products, searching for products, and how do you find what you're looking for in different scenarios throughout your experience. And it works both online, and we're also bringing the digital into the physical store. And then we have a part of the platform that's more for the retailers that helps you manage the merchandising by tagging products, by improving your text search. So it's a kind of a broad platform that brings a lot of value around performance.
So Syte's been in market now for, gosh, must be 7-8 years at least.
So the company was founded in 2015 and had its first sale very late in 2018. So really, we've been selling for 4 years. Yes.
So 3 years of R&D before actually being a live product. That's the level of investment that's gone in there.
Yes, and actually, it's what we did in these years is we manually trained our model. So our model is very specialized in certain verticals, and we have tens of millions of images that each one was tagged and described by people that are experts. So they use the words to describe the items and synonyms, etc. And so the interesting thing is that that's part of what makes us special. We're very good at recognizing and understanding what's in the picture and what's the context because of the way we built our catalog.
So V's given you a very technical and correct view of what the product is. For those that are more layman like myself, when you go to those websites and it has a very cool little camera up in your search bar and you can inject a picture and then it gives you all of the other white dresses that look like that picture, pretty much it's going to be Syte, which is the technology that sits behind there, right? Now, that was the main product that I knew as Syte for many years. But now over the past 3, 4, 5 years, you've evolved this so much further into merchandising and searchandising as well, correct?
Yes, so we start out really, as you said, just by being an image search so that you upload an image and you look on the website for something similar. But we saw that most people don't use it, right? It's a single percentage point. So it brings a lot of value because people that search with images they're intent driven. Maybe they took an image of something they saw at a friend's house or on Instagram on a social network. But at the end of the day, you want to look like you look in the store with your eyes. So the kind of things we've looked at is, let's say you're looking at, I'm looking at a dress and I like it, but it's not exactly, what I'm looking for. And I want to look for something visually similar. So I can click either the camera icon, or sometimes it will say in words, right? Every retailer can choose what they want, but it will say, let's say, search similar items. And it's going to show me everything that's visually similar. and it can be similar in the color, or it could be similar in the, and it's a dress, so the flow of the dress, and it will show me everything similar. And there's lots of scenarios. What if we're out of stock? So we can also click, okay, find me similar items in my size. So it really eliminates dead ends, and it's just it encourages engagement, increases conversion. It's just very intuitive to use. You don't need to understand there's a lot of technology behind it. It's a button. I want to see similar things. So it's fun to use.
Yeah, and I've had multiple demos over the years from your team, and I've tried to hoax the guys and break it and give them random images, but it works insanely well, incredibly well. The bit which I think about your technology, which when I first saw it kind of blew my mind, was that concept of the lexicography that goes on in the background, right? Where as normal e-commerce merchandisers, we're used to maybe putting 5 or 10 attributes on a product, right? They're trousers, they're blue, they're denim, right? What blew my mind was when you run that through your algorithm, that starts saying things like it's ripped, it's bell bottom, it's skinny jeans, right? Or, it's going into this granular depth. Can you help us less intelligent people in the room understand how on earth it's doing that? Is that literally just through volume?
So that's a favorite topic, because it really is part of our competitive edge. Remember, I told you that when we built the model and trained it, then people describe the images in words. And that gives us the strong base to be able to automatically, without any intervention, to automatically look at pictures and assign, we call them deep tags, and assign the deep tags. It's basically describing the image in words. And by doing that, when we start working with the retailer, they will send us the catalog. We call it ingestion. We will ingest the catalog, and then in near real time, well, first, we have to set up, but once we're set up in near real time, we'll keep tagging the images and we'll describe them in words. So let's take a dress. Maybe we will get the dress with the original, as you said, the original, metadata of dress, black and long, right? Something like that. But we can maybe add another 15 and sometimes even more, right? We just have, I think we have only 24 words to describe the type of the collar, right? So
Wow.
we're describe the collar. Is it round? Is it V-neck? Is it sweetheart? Is it a crew neck? The sleeves, are there sleeves? Is it asymmetrical? Is it a long sleeve? Is it fluff sleeves, right? So there's so many words that describe it, and we will say the neckline, the sleeves, the type of the shoulder. Is it long? Is it short? Is it a mini? Is it flowing? Is it body fitting? Is there a belt? Is there a pattern? Is there one color? Is there a dominant color? Are the multicolor? So we have tens of thousands of ways to describe the image. So it's very useful.
And so once you've got those text attributes, deep tags, sorry, I've got to use your words, V, deep tags objects, do they just exist within Syte, or can I use them across the rest of my business? Can I push this into my point of sale and use it within my navigation and my faceted search to improve my SEO?
So most of our customers choose to also get access to these deep tags, right? You don't have to. It's as I said, we're a platform, so we have several components. Most customers choose to have the deep tags, and then yes, they can use them within their own. You can use it to enhance your product information system, and what it does, for example, it can enhance your text search, right? So now you have all these words. When customers are searching with words, you can use it to do filters that are much more advanced. It's good for search engine optimization. So Google's finds, right, all the data is more richness to find very specific items. And of course, we can also help with deep tag analytics, because you can use it to forecast trends, to understand what's going on. So I'll give you an example of how specific it is. For one of our customers, we were able to see that animal prints on clothes were not going as well, but animal prints on shoes, specifically boots, were selling like crazy. So we forecasted there's a trend now, I don't know, in New Zealand, but in the US, we were able to forecast for one of our customers back to comfortable shoes. and Crocs, all these comfy shoes that went out of mode and came back in. So we're able to be very specific in what these tags allow us to see.
Yeah, and I guess you're getting more into that consumer psyche as well, because if you can do things like flowing dress, no one's going to natively tag their product with flowing, right? Whereas I expect the average consumer might well search for that, right? So
Yeah.
I love where that's going. Now, you spoke about a couple of verticals. We've spoken about fashion, but
Todd,
you're
I
not
want to
just
add another
fashion.
thing. Todd, I
Oh,
want to
please.
add another thing because you said something before we talk about verticals. You said something about a flowy dress, and two really cool things that the platform does. One is we can define tags. So when you have such a richness of tags, I can define what a summer dress is. And I could say summer dresses have short sleeves. They're white, pink, or yellow, right? And they need
Okay.
to be sleeveless or have spaghetti strap sleeves. Well, I can define what dressy is. So it allows us to, and you can create collections much faster, right? Let's say you want to have a collection that has blue and green items. I don't know what M&M day. I don't know what kind of day that would be, but right, or any kind of day, right? The colors of your flag because it's Independence Day. So you can use visual attributes. And the other advantage it has for retailers, it allows you to unify your lexicon, because maybe you're a marketplace, right? And somebody this is a shirt and somebody else called it a blouse. And this may be blue or navy blue, and it allows you to unify all your lexicon. So it's very useful. So deep
Well,
tags.
yeah, the usage of that becomes pretty impressive, especially when you can, that concept of dynamically creating a range, a season, a collection, just on a few nascent thoughts, and then letting the AI pull in, oh, actually, I wouldn't have chosen that top or those shoes, but now I see it together. That's very, very smart. Very smart. So we started to talk there about verticals, not just fashion, right?
So first of all, in fashion and apparel, it's very broad. So we have eyewear and accessories and sneakers
Okay.
and shoes and sportswear and regular clothes and fast fashion and high fashion. So we're definitely very broad in that category. We have jewelry and watches. And then we're also in the home decor and furniture category, again, from sheets and things for the home through furniture and all the way through do-it-yourself items. So it's very broad. And we're really specialized in these categories. It's very hard to describe items. We can recognize other items too, of course, but we really try and be specialized on understanding where we add value and in being very accurate in our core categories. So that's what we do, not electronics, for example.
I understand that. Okay, so just for the people that are listening in, if you've got any questions for V, by all means, punch them into the comments in whatever platform you're watching us on. Raven's sitting in the background and she will scoop those up and throw those in front of us. Now, V, I've got a few questions that have kind of been intriguing me that I want to kind of go a little bit left field on here. I'm intrigued to understand from your perspective, what is the entrepreneurial setup in Israel looking like? Because we're starting to see more and more new wave of SaaS commerce products coming out through Israel. What is it that has nurtured that specifically within the Israeli ecosystem?
So that's a favorite topic. So thanks, Todd, for
Okay,
asking
I
that.
didn't know that.
I think there's two parts to it, and I'll address them in sequence. The first part is around the Israeli kind of like the startup nation and the entire entrepreneurial spirit, and why do we even have so many startups? And the second part of it relates to the innovation in retail tech, and there definitely is a lot. So regarding the kind of the Israeli entrepreneurial spirit, we are a small country, and we've always had to be very kind of like innovative and to dare and to not take no for an answer. So from a very young age, we were all very entrepreneurial. In that sense, I guess I'm a typical Israeli. I did my military service when I was 18, got exposure to technology and to responsibility and leadership at a very young age. Then I worked. Then I moved from Israel to the US. I lived in the US for 12 years. Then I lived in France for 4 years. Then I came back to Israel with a lot of experience from international companies and joined the ecosystem. And it's an ecosystem that rewards trying. I've had my own startup that I couldn't raise money for it. I've had my startup that I raised money for. I've joined big companies. I've joined startups. I've failed. I've been successful, and it's okay, right? It's part of the experience to try, to dare, to. So we're always trying things and inventing startups. It's very cool here to be a founder, a co-founder, and so the one part of it is that we like trying and we like innovation. The second part of it is that we do have a thriving retail scene. I was just 2 days ago at a retail innovation conference in Israel, and there are 10 of really exciting, innovative Israeli retail tech companies. And we actually have some ability that for companies either to join forces and come on like a technology tour to Israel. We often host those tours. We've had tours from Australia, not from New Zealand yet, but we've had tours from Australia, from Korea, from Japan, from the US, from Brazil. So we get like these delegations. Sometimes it's a very large company and many people come from the company. And sometimes it's various companies that work with one of the special agencies we have here. And you can come to Israel, see Israel, enjoy the Holy Land, but also see as many as you want. But right, you could see like 5, 6, 7 retail tech companies every day and get acquainted with the Israeli ecosystem in that area.
And I assume there's a lot of cohesion between those startups working together then.
So it's very broad, I have to say, actually, but we do work together and, we'll coordinate, but it's very broad. It can be from robotics for delivering frozen food or, packing frozen food through logistics, consumer facing recommendations, for example, reviews, right? Customer reviews for big companies, for small companies. It's actually very broad. Yes.
So you must have then a very particular vision on the future of commerce and omni-channel that drove you to want to come and join Syte. So talk us through a little bit more of that and what attracted you to Syte and where you see the evolution happening.
So I joined Syte a year ago, just over a year ago. I'm not the co-founder of Syte. Syte was founded by 4 people who really brought the company to where it is. And I had the privilege of picking up as 2 of the four co-founders are still at the company, but they really did a great job in bringing Syte to where it is today. And what attracted me to Syte is, first of all, the technology, because I love technology. And I think having a strong, unique technology is a great start for a company. So I came because of the technology and love the company and our customers. We have over 122 customers, and it's really fun. This is my first CEO role as someone in the retail space, right? So I've been in other industries, and it's kind of fun because everybody also likes to shop, and it's it's something that I enjoy. I've done many things where you can't describe in word. It's all like, bits and bytes and right, cyber, for example. So it's really fun to do something that's real and that everybody understands. So technology is what brought me here. And in terms of, I really think that my vision in general for Syte is that we need to bring the experience of looking in the store, the physical, into the digital world. But we're also doing some interesting things on bringing the digital into the physical world. So the physy-digi aspect of retail is very interesting to me. And there's a few big trends shaping e-commerce now, but I think Syte can be part of some of the biggest trends, right? From sustainability to enhancing the consumer experience, both online and in the stores. Addressing some of the pain points that we see our retailers have, and we're trying to do that with technology.
Dig into that a little bit deeper for me, because that intrigues me. Are we talking at point of sale, clienteling, mirrors, video AI? Where do you see that kind of whole thing pushing towards?
So first of all, I see it very broadly, and there's no limit over there. I think it can go in very interesting ways. I think in general, there was a shift during COVID that the physical and the digital are blurring. So I think we're going to see more
Hmm.
and more innovative things. Site specifically is doing a few things. I can tell you some of the things we are doing. But in general, I think consumers are expecting better experiences, whether they're online or in the store. And combining these will do something exciting for the experience. I'll give you some real examples. One, yes, you mentioned is mirrors. And we power the discovery experience on a mirror so that you've already tried something on. How do you find the similar items? And think of it, it doesn't, with Syte, it can not only be, here are the similar items in the store, but I could show here are similar items that are not in the store, but I can bring them for you, right? Within a
Hmm.
few days, for example, or we can ship it to your home, but you can already stand in the store and see it in real time, live on yourself, what it would look like. Another interesting thing, and we do have customers using that, and we collaborate with the mirror manufacturers. We're not a mirror manufacturer. The other example, I'm trying to think of real things we're doing already. The other example is, let's say one of our customers in the US is a big sporting goods company. And you know that experience when you're in the store and there's a shoe you want to try on, and the guy or the girl say, "One moment, let me go check," and they disappear. And you're like, "Where are they? And did they find my size?" And then they stop, and do they remember? And then they show back after 7 minutes, and they're like, "Well, we don't have your size." So they're trying to create a more fun experience around that. So they have created an app for their for the people who are their associates in the store. And for example, I see a sneaker I like, they will take a picture of it. And then they will say, "Okay, this shoe is available in your size," or "This shoe is not available in your size, but the store that's 2 kilometers, miles away does have it. And by the way, are you insisting on this brand? Because if you want another brand, here's a visually similar shoe, right?
Hmm.
And we know where the shoe is available, of course, all across the network. Here's a visually similar shoe. This one is in the store. This one is in the next store. This one we can ship from online. So it allows you to do like a more fun experience to remove friction from the selling point. And I think it's going to also go into the metaverse where you can actually see kind of cool things, right? I mean, imagine and this is actually an Israeli a retail tech company, but imagine that you're in the store and maybe you're somebody younger or somebody older, and you may be looking and you may see different things, right? There may be backgrounds that are different, so you may be able to pick up discount points by checking a new item that arrived to the store. So it's going to be cool things coming, I think.
Super interesting. Super interesting. I love these conversations because it forces us to think outside of the boundaries of our normal everyday context. And yeah, it always amazes me where these innovations are usually quite nuanced, but quite groundbreaking in their application as well. Yeah. One of the active conversations I've been having recently around AI is this concept of ethical AI, right? And I guess a lot of that's been triggered by zero, first, second party data and all of our cookie laws and restrictions. Does that restrict your ability to be truly personalized? Is it just personalized on that session, or are you able to kind of collect some first party data so when I do come back, you still know that I'm looking for a flowy black dress and it's got some kind of memory around me? I'm into my flowy black dresses, by the way, V.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's great. Um, yeah, actually, dresses are always great in demos. So because there's just so there's so many variations on that. So I like that example. So the site has taken an approach that is very conservative. We don't keep any data. We don't need,
Okay.
first of all, we don't need the retailer. Our model is so trained. I don't need the retailer data to use it to train the model. My model is fully trained. And so one is we don't use the retailer's data so there's no need to protect it, right? We will ingest the catalog and that's it. We don't use that data. When somebody uploads an image or when somebody is visually searching, our approach is we don't keep it. So we offer an advantage in a cookieless world or when there's privacy issues because it's always personalized. So if you're looking, Todd, today for your black flowy dress, you will see black flowy dresses. But if you're looking tomorrow for pajamas for your uncle, then you will see pajamas. So it's very advantageous because I may be in a different mode. Today I may be looking for a white dressy shirt with puffy sleeves like I'm wearing now for work. And tomorrow I may be looking for, just casual jeans and looking for something very specific. So no matter what I'm looking for, the session is personalized. We don't keep it beyond. I have to say we do get sometimes requests from customers to personalize it with the customer data so that it goes deeper. So for example, my favorite color is blue. So for Vered, let's show her first when she's looking at t-shirts, the blue t-shirts, but we don't do that today. So we really make working with us very easy on the, on the privacy laws and maintaining data because we just don't maintain it. Maybe it will change in the future, but we've taken a very kind of like conservative look, conservative view. We don't have data, so we don't sell it. We don't need to protect it. And it's like we personalize the session we call it hyper personalization. It's very specialized, right? Are you looking for white pants? Are you looking for the white pants, the jeans that have tears? Are they bell bottom? Are they high rise, right? Do they have maybe some kind of embroidery on them? It's very, very hyper personalized, but to the session and to what you're looking at.
Yeah, and I think that's a fairly unique position to take a conservative view on data capture because most platforms have gone in the opposite direction, right? Where they are combing every mouse click and directional movement and auto-fired opt-ins if you've come within 2 millimeters of leaving the page.
Yeah.
So,
yes.
But I think that's going to be where the future is leading us. I think what we're going to see is that GDPR, I think, has barely got started, really, right? In terms of the actual implications therein. We've had issues with clients that can't use Google fonts in Austria, right? Because the font is being served from the US and then it's capturing an analytic about who used that font, so it doesn't comply. And I think we're going to see that as a set of standards within the next couple of years that are rolled out globally, and everyone's going to be adopting a universal framework there.
Yeah, so it's interesting you say that because we took a very different position to that. I think today consumers feel uncomfortable about the amount of data that retailers and in general companies have about them. I know I personally do. And right, I mean, a consumer comes to your site and you have data, direct data and third-party data and all kinds of, and demographic data and geographic data and contextual data and this data and data and data. But at the end of the day, most consumers don't feel they're getting really great personalized recommendations. And so for us, our visual platform is about, instead of saying we need data about your consumer, we're data about the product. And because of how specialized we are and how we see what you're looking at, right? It's like a person in the store. I know exactly what to recommend to you, and it's hyper personalized to your session. And so we don't need to go to that route of having all that additional data. So it's a slightly different view, and we feel very comfortable with it. We think it's an advantage, but we may reconsider in the future. But at least it's been a conscious decision we've made, and I think that's part of what makes us unique.
I wholly agree with you. I think there's been an adage of almost trying to over-optimize experiences and have this focus on a 3-click experience. But I strongly believe in some of these design patterns that add some soft hurdles, right? And there has to be some experience in there. And that time on site, and I'm sure that comes out in your data, the more they use their product, the higher the AOV goes, because it's a discovery platform. It's not a search platform. You're literally using it to discover more product. And so what I love about your kit is that it's kind of almost a game as well, right? Of where you almost kind of go down this strange path, and it's the 5th thing that you were never planning to buy, but all of a sudden that's so me, right? And it's the tech that led you there. And I think that's a really special journey that's hard to replicate if you are force feeding only blue t-shirts, because that's what V bought last time. right?
Yes, and actually the data part is an interesting thing because we're very data driven. We see
Of course.
billions of transactions, right? So we see what people are looking at, but we believe in the aggregate. So I understand also trends, so I can recommend trends that are more sophisticated and more refined in what to recommend, but it's not based on one person and what they're looking at. So yeah, it is much more general. And we have on our website a report about the state of e-commerce. We publish it every year, and we use some of that high level data to describe what's coming, to describe trends. And I think that the nice thing about visual discovery is that it's, as you said, it's a fun experience. It encourages engagement, but it's also about the bottom line. So the conversion rate goes up. People that are visually engaged throughout their journey at some point, in many cases, the conversion rate is X3 to X7 higher. So it's 3 to 7 times higher.
Wow.
Because if you find what you're looking for, then you're going to buy it. And because of our ability to, every image is shoppable. So maybe I came to like Shein, the Chinese fast fashion retailer, as a customer. Maybe I'm a teenager and I came there with a picture from Instagram and I wanted the jeans. But now also the shirt is clickable with Syte. So I can also click on the shirt and find a similar shirt that helps the AOV go higher. And also related to what you said, I think we concluded at the beginning of the year a year-long study across, on average, all of our customers. The retention goes up. So the lifetime value goes up, because if you're having a good experience and it's personalized and it's engaging and you can either search or discover very in a fun way, yes, I'm going to come back to the site and buy again. So it's nice to see that it works the way it's supposed to work.
Absolutely. I love that. And from everything you're saying here, it seems that the values of Syte aren't just a, hey, Mr. Merchant, please buy my technology. You're really building partnerships with these merchants, right? And starting to coach them on their purchasing, their merchandising, how they're kind of coaching the system as well. So have I got that right, that it's genuinely a partnership?
Yes, and it's a two-way partnership, because on the one hand, we see a lot of trends and a large volume of data, and we definitely have best practices around deploying Syte and getting great results. So we do, our customer success managers are very experienced, and we work together to optimize the experience and to deliver results, and to make recommendations. On the other hand, we're a retail tech company based in Israel. Most of us are in Israel, not the entire team, but most of us. And we're not retailers. So we have to have this dialogue and these insights from our customers. And I'll give you an example. There was a lot of talk about out of stock, and supply chain, because you have supply chain issues and delivery time issues. And when we heard this pain from our customers, we were able to develop something that we always had in our technology. We just didn't package it in a way, the right way. We developed an out of stock button. And what this means, it can be out of stock or a too slow delivery button. Call it as you want. So let's say I'm looking for this cool, for this cool T-shirt, and I finally found it, but my size is not available. So I can click on this button that says find similar in my size, and here are all the similar items, and that brings huge value to the customers. Or let's say I'm a furniture company and somebody just found the perfect sofa, but it's available in 5 months because it's imported. I mean, you can click on find something similar available within 2 weeks. And so this is an example of us hearing the pain of our customers and coming up with a solution. Email marketing. We have a great offer around email marketing in partnership with Klaviyo, but it works with any email program, but Klaviyo is our partner. And for example, I'm looking on the website at items, and today they use retargeting to do it, but I'm able to see, I being our customer, to now see what you're looking at and customize the offers to that in email marketing. So there's a lot of interesting things that you can do to really take it to the next level and address the pain points of the customers. So it's a two-way street, and we view it as a technology partnership because we are a technology company.
Very, very cool. How do those recommendations work when you are building out an outfit, V? So if I'm looking at the jeans and you want to sell me the belt and the shoes and the shirt, is there some kind of structuring and sort of bandwidth thing we're doing there around show me 5 other similar pairs of jeans, but then also show me the complete outfit as well?
So we do have a shop the look. It can happen, first of all, it can happen in 2 ways. I'll go back a second. First of all, it can happen in 2 ways. We can shop the look. So if there's an image of a model and the model, he or she are wearing a hat and a watch, and assuming everything's in the catalog, and shoes and jeans and shirt, everything in the image becomes shoppable. So you can do shop the look, shop the room, right? So it's very useful when you have model shoots or atmosphere shoots. So everything becomes shoppable, and so in that way we can make automated recommendations, and it can be used in several ways. But what we are not is we're not a styling tool. So we will not say, okay, for this shirt, this bracelet is going to be perfect. But we do help the stylists that are doing it manually, because with Syte, you can actually look for similar things and you can discover what's in the catalog. So we do enhance the manual styling work, but we are not, our algorithms don't recommend, for example, if you're wearing these shoes, then these jeans will go with it, or the other way around probably. But for example, we have a customer like Fashion Nova in the US. It's a fast fashion company there. And we will recommend similar things. So if the modeler is wearing, let's say I looked at the dress and the modeler is wearing funky earrings and a nice kind of bracelet and shoes, we will have, shop the look or shop similar and recommend styling that look the same but are not the same. So we will show different earrings, but earrings. And we'll show shoes that aren't exactly the same. Because if you want to shop the same, you can just click on the shoes and Syte will recommend similar shoes. So we do go into the styling and recommendations also on items that complement the look.
Very cool. We've got one question here from Raven, essentially about those merchants that are dealing across multiple languages. So how do you handle, a English, French, German retailer?
So Syte is available in multiple languages, and each language has its own lexicon. So as I said, our model is trained. And so we've already dealt with translating them with a professional translation. So it's different in every language, of course. And we have a synonym manager, so that if actually, this is another example. You spoke of the technology partnership. We used to just send our customers, they could have the deep tags. And now we've been asked, can we have a deep tag editor? Because maybe you said flowy in English, but in Australia, it's called something else. Or in, in the US, it's called something else, right? So maybe we call it wide bottom jeans and somebody else calls it bell bottom jeans. I don't know. So we've also, we're launching in this end of this quarter, and we're very excited, the deep tag editor, so that even if the word that our specialist chose in your language is not the right word, you can manage it. And we're in English and English, all the different types of English, of course, and French and German and Spanish and Portuguese and Korean and Japanese. So it's in over a dozen languages.
And one of the things I've seen working with your team over the years is that this technology has become a lot more accessible in the past few years, right? The cost of ownership and the return on investment. I remember having a conversation with your team before you were there, kind of 6 years ago, and all the conversations kind of started at 6 figures. Those numbers have come right down now, right? And so the accessibility is there for merchants looking for that next round of scale. What do they need to be planning for in terms of launching something like Syte with their business? Is it a a 2-day, a 2-year, a 2-month kind of process? What does that look like?
So first of all, Todd, I think it's great that you've been working with Syte so long, and we appreciate the partnership. And yeah, I mean, I think it's very exciting. So we've really restructured the way we work so that it's more accessible, because we want people to try Syte and to experience the ROI for themselves. The integration is very straightforward, and we're working on making it even simpler. So there's no heavy lifting, no code writing needed in our JavaScript mode. So we have a JavaScript way to start working, which we recommend because it's easy and it's fast, and no development is needed. And it's a process where in the beginning, first of all, we have to ingest the catalog, and we need to map it to your own categories as a retailer, because everybody has their own categories, and make sure the lexicon is aligned. And so that, QA that, of course, before we start automating everything. So there's that first part, which a lot of the work is over here on the Syte end, but sometimes the retailer will, need to adjust the way they send us the feed. Then we have the integration, and you need to choose what font, what color, which location. We have the recommendation. And then there's no heavy lifting. We have to get the event so we can track the ROI. The process usually at leisure takes about 45 days. I think the fastest is 10 days. Slowest, well, we've had some large enterprise customers that have taken longer. And it's a very intuitive process, and we're actually working now on making it even easier and faster, so that there's no barrier to starting. It's intuitive, it's fast, there's no heavy lifting, and we're available to support during the process.
And I imagine if your merchants are seeing that, 3 times uplift in conversion rate when customers are engaging with that, the ROI should be coming back within that first 6 to 12 months of having that investment in place.
Yes, we like looking at even a shorter ROI, because we think that you should be bringing a lot of value. And part of it is that sometimes we see customers where they see the results, that they actually spend effort. We have some best practices on educating customers about what is visual search. So we have H. Samuel, belongs to Signet, the largest jewelry retailer in the world. But they have a really well-respected traditional brand called H. Samuel, and they love the results in jewelry. They love the results of visuals so much. They actually spend a lot of time educating their customers. They'll have pop-up banners, and they did an email marketing to their customers with new visual search. And sometimes when I go into their site, actually the first screen is like, start with visual search, and they have a little explanation about what is visual search, because the higher the percent of people that are using visual search, the better the returns. And sometimes we'll see customers starting with the image search and the discovery icon, and over time they will add more and more features. And sometimes the majority of customers are experiencing Syte somewhere along the journey, whether it's on the homepage, on the product listing page with all the items, on the product discovery page, throughout checkout, post checkout. So yes, it becomes very powerful, and we're ROI driven. I mean, we can talk about a more engaging consumer experience, bringing physical into the virtual, but at the end of the day, the retailers need to make sure that it's ROI positive, and that it increases average order value and conversion and brings value. And this is what we deliver.
Fantastic. That was a brilliant summary. So look, guys, if you've been watching this, I think if you were, if you've known Syte for a while and you thought it was just this visual search tool, it's so much more in the background. The technology that it's doing with this deep tagging is sensational. You can use that data to build out your facets and your other search and increase your SEO, push it out into your DAMs and your PIMs, and push it down to your POS. You can start to merchandise on site. I think one of the coolest little features I love about the kit is when you're going through the PLP and you see something that sort of looks like what you want, but it's not the right thing. You click on the little camera icon and it immediately brings you those other 12 garments that look like that. Yeah. It's a really beautiful interactive experience. So you can Google Syte. You'll find it very quickly. If you want to hit up one of the Overdose guys, we'll make an introduction as well. And I think that you'll see that this will be coming in the next few years, with the accessibility improving so much, a mainstay in a expected commerce experience as well. So V, thank you so much for giving of your time so early in the morning in Tel Aviv. Very lazy of us to, it's coming up to 6 o'clock on a Friday evening here. So we're all due a beer, you're due a coffee. And thank you again for spending some time with us today on Chill.
Thank you so much for inviting me, and hope to see you in Israel finally and meet in person.
I'd love to get over there at some point.
Great.
Brilliant. Thanks, V.
Bye. Thank you.